absolutely. There's nothing more important for Pullman than having a strong education system. And in fact, the Pullman 2040 polling information confirmed that. One of the paramount things that people wanted to make sure didn't change was our outstanding educational system. It's important to employers, it's important to Wazoo, who wants to attract faculty. And one of the things I love about Pullman is it's been a great place to raise my kids and see that they have been educated from preschool through our outstanding school system, and I just got to launch them into the college. Now, my second reaction was, oh my gosh, how are we going to come up with recommendations to keep vibrant and improve a system that's already so great? Okay, what's going on here?
Help him, would you? A little education going on. He's really a smart
Old fashioned. Okay, I can do it old fashioned too. Let's not use that. But I had the benefit of a great committee. We had representatives from Wazoo, from Schweitzer, from Pullman Education, from the Pullman School District, our superintendent. I had Joanna from Neal Public Library. I had representation from the Center for Civil Engagement, and we really had some outstanding conversations. Now, when I think about our education system, Tom Peters, who's a great business advisor and author, he said, excellent firms don't believe in excellence, only constant improvement and constant change. And we already have an excellent education system. The challenge is improving, having constant improvement and constant change. We looked at this and decided, okay, what are the overreaching objectives we want that would keep Pullman a vibrant community? The first one is expose learners to experts in specialized fields, and I'll talk a little bit more about each of these as we go on. Provide greater career and technical training, and then continue and enhance support for education. Oops. Now, the first one, what we really are looking at is Pullman is blessed with a lot of people in a lot of areas that have an amazing amount of expertise in different areas. As my kids were going through the middle school, 2 out of my 3 played the saxophone. And in the music program, there's this guy who, I think a retired Wazoo prof, who has every size of saxophone. From the little to the big, and boy, did I hear a lot about those saxophones. And it was one of those experiences that enriched my kids' education that's different than some other districts. And so what we want to do is see how we can leverage and leverage the expertise in the community and bring it into the classroom, whether it's early development, preschool, K through 12. Our small project in that area is to strengthen the interaction between WSU Center for Civil Engagement and Pullman School District. Now, I want to emphasize the Center for Civic Engagement all into our community and into the classroom. But there aren't really formal meetings, and we want to have quarterly meetings between the school district, the superintendent, and the Center for Civil Engagement. The next thing we want to do is have an event, an annual event at Neal Public Library or somewhere else that brings those with expertise together with educators. Our medium project is, my kids always tell me, I guess I'm too old for this and I've been married for 24 years, about all these dating apps, swipe right, swipe left, farmers only. There's a dating app for everything. But why is it we don't have a way to bring people together, people who are ready, able, knowledgeable, and willing with teachers and educators and preschool workers. And so we want to create a database that accomplishes that so that it's easy to integrate experts with classrooms. The last, of course, and it's only the largest goal because it has to come after the database, and that's to encourage the use and let people know it's out there. The next thing we discussed is Pullman school system is really good at preparing kids for college. But I think one thing that gets missed is what about the kids that are not college bound, and do we really teach kids vocational skills? You know, we've heard time and time again, Bob Maxwell says, he's called frequently and asked, do you have any good welders? Do you have any, are there people who actually know how to frame houses? And those trade skills are less of an emphasis. And so we'd like to make that greater. Now, Spokane Falls Community College already has some of these programs up in Spokane. And so one thing we want to do is get some of those programs taught down here and coordinate those with kids who need it from the public schools so that everyone gets out of high school having the correct path. The other thing is, this is kind of a dorky slide, you know, a welder with Wazoo. But the reality is our universities have had an emphasis on academic rather than practical sort of emphasis. In fact, I see this, I'm a lawyer, and one of my paralegals got her PhD in paralegal studies, and then in teaching paralegals. And then she didn't have a place at Wazoo because they really don't have practical bachelor's programs of that type. So now she's teaching somewhere else. But Wazoo is looking into non-degree programs, and I think that that's something we should foster and target so that we can serve that. The biggest goal we have is a training and vocational center, and it's something that's been adopted in other communities, a center where they may have automotive section, a culinary section, you know, air conditioning and heating section, where we can actually train kids with actual equipment, and that could be paired with sharing roles from a lot of different entities. The last objective we had was to continue the great support we have for education and enhance it. And the first thing that we noticed is, you know, we live in Pullman, a town with a big university. But any other town you drive into in eastern Washington, a small town of our size, and you come in, and the first sign you see is, welcome to blank, home of the whatever. Palouse, it's what,
Welcome to the Vikings. Go Vikings.
And you drive into Pullman, and Wazoo's done a great job of branding. You see nothing but Wazoo. There's not a mention of those Greyhounds. And I think that we need to repackage our town so that, and I'm not thinking we're going to displace or exclude Wazoo, but I think that as we put flags out, I think it would be good to have, you know, a Wazoo sign, a Greyhound sign, so that we show the support for our kids. Yeah, well,
Foxes. Well, let's not.
I went as far as a Greyhound, but the second thing that we wanted to do was support volunteerism in our schools. And that's kind of related to the prior goal, but it doesn't really require experts in the field, just people who know how to read with kids. And we'd like to make that a primary culture of our town, is caring for our kids. Finally, say monetary support, but you know, we'd like to increase the ability of all of the entities that support education. And I don't just mean things like, you know, Pullman High School Boosters, I'm talking PTA groups, Pullman Education Foundation, Friends of Neal Public Library. And one way to do that is to facilitate that through leveraging the resources we already have, like chamber newsletters, you know, when we're doing fundraisers. And one of the difficulties in raising money for education, and I know I've done it, is we don't have the advantages of hiring a high-profile, you know,
Marketer.
a marketer or fundraiser like the hospital does. We just can't compete. But what we can do is change the emphasis as a community so that these outfits are seen as important and part of the joint culture. Any questions?